on the range. Money was the broker in the stock exchange. You make money on your 9 to 5 to earn your living so you survive. It takes money to pay your rent and to eat. Without money, you're hungry on the street. It takes money, money. Cash money, money, to the bill. So you steal some money, you go to jail, and then you turn around, need some for bail. But then you need a dime to call your lawyer to plead.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it there. It was almost over, but... So, I'm listening to this debate between the good old rival that I've debated twice before already, Superpower Broadcasting, and Pierre Trudeau. To be honest with you, I don't care for either one. I think Pierre Trudeau fell into the... He's one of these folks that he tries to make himself sound so hard like an intellectual. And I think that he's one of these guys, he wants to try to reclaim people to their side. He's trying to reclaim George Sorel and say that George Sorel isn't a fascist. I didn't bother to watch the video, but I think it's silly. I think it's silly that he says these types of things because he's one of these folks who has to find these really obscure letters that he wrote, this and that, and ignores his actual work. Like I say, I briefly read part of Reflections on Violence, and within the first 10 pages, he mentions the JQ. So, I mean, you can go ahead and twist it around whatever way you want to. To me, it is what it is, right? But what's going on, Mad Baron? I know you were watching a little bit of that debate with Kevin Castley and Pierre Trudeau. I think Pierre Trudeau is just one of these guys, like I say. I'm going to criticize him more because I've talked about Kevin Castley quite a bit, but to me, Pierre Trudeau fell into numerous traps, I think, with this. In particular, he fell into the trap of, going and taking the bait on Iran. It's like he could have just brought up what General Wesley Clark said from that infamous Democracy Now! Clip, where it says, we plan to invade these 5 countries within 5 years or something like that. It was Syria, Iran, Iraq, Libya, I think, or one other one, I think. And that is the piece of paper that he said, well, sir, this is just how it goes and everything else, right? So he could have brought that up. He brought up a point, where he's like, well, China's revisionist, but, and I think that, like I say, when I saw him respond to one of the questions, I didn't listen to every single minute, but when I heard him say, oh, well, you come off as very pornographic. Your view of politics is pornographic. I'm like, he's one of these guys, he's too big brain for his britches, in my opinion. It's like, look, you got to deal with ordinary people. You can't simply use, and he was using these big words like, well, it's a multiplicity, and all this talking about China. But like I say, this fits Kevin's narrative. I've listened to enough Kevin Castley to know this. It fits into the narrative of simply, that anti-war movements simply support imperialism for Russia and China. So if you talk about China saying that they are better than the U.S., it simply fits into his narrative. That's all it is. It simply fits into his narrative. So, like I say, I don't really care for Pierre Trudeau or Kevin Castley. Kevin Castley is never going to change. He's getting more and more arrogant, where he just he gives a little laugh and whatnot. It's very annoying. I could go on and on about it, but let's get to the real meat of this. The debate was crapola. In general, it was just Pierre Trudeau came off as sluggish. He came off as kind of, what's the, like the Afghani point. Well, why do you call them Afghanis? Well, what was the point in you doing that? And just, like I said, I'll repeat again. Pierre Trudeau is one of these guys. I think that he comes off as way too big brain, and he shouldn't. That's my take on him. Like I say. But I was gonna do a video called "Nothing More." Is there anything left to lose for the American people? But then I thought that was bad faith, because there is a lot that people can lose. There are people who are still holding on to residences. They're still holding on to family land. They're still holding on to the idea that, if they just keep going, then they'll be able to pay off their loans, or, if they just get this house or whatever the case may be, then their lives will be so much better. And we don't need a revolution. If we just reform these few things, if we just got free, if we just got Medicare for all, this and that, then suddenly, the world will be better. And, and I think that's the false reform. That's the reform pill, basically. Yeah, people will lose their convenient and easy lives. Oh yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. But people aren't really ready to go down that path. That's the whole thing. They don't want to, because they think it's gonna continue on, and that we can just, it just keeps going up, right? Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. But I think there are enough people, and this doesn't really include me necessarily, but I'll say it here, is that there are folks who have nothing left to lose. We see potentially anti-vaxxers, the folks that have been doxxed by Antifa and have lost their jobs. And some of that is overlapping. Like I say, that's probably, that's not a Venn diagram. It's just a circle. But these groups are going to start to become a resistance movement. That's going to be harder, because obviously you have GPS and everything else. There are ways around it. But I think there will be this idea of, once mandates do come in, and once, like I say, if you force the state of Texas, for example, to have mandates about masks and about taking the shot, taking the prick, that once you do that, are people simply going to give in? Which I do think that a lot of people will. Or are you going to sit there and be like, yeah, fuck you, I'm not going to do it? I think, as many Americans are, we are spoiled teenagers who are just like, I'm going to use a joke from, I'm going to use a boomer joke from Jim Gaffigan, where he says, basically, he compares people that go to McDonald's as teenagers, right? He says, you're gross, I don't like you, and all this sort of thing. When's dinner? Right? Yeah. I was watching SP versus Trudeau. Yeah. It was not. Let me be honest with you, Shaq Riot. I don't care for either one. I'll be honest with you. I know superpower broadcasting in general. I saw him bring up this bullshit point where he's like, I'm anti-free market, this and that. He's more of a protectionist. He still loves capitalism, by the way. But he's like, I'm anti. It's like, why don't you just become a socialist? But he's not. He just wants to be a protectionist. And Trudeau just came off as sluggish, in my opinion. Generally speaking, he also just came off as one of these folks who's just like, oh, well, I'm intellectually smarter than you, that sort of thing, right? He just came off as very, and he fell into the various traps that Kevin lays for people. But yeah, that's my take on it. I don't care for either one, but if I had a choice, I guess Pierre Trudeau would be better. But the whole thing, especially when they got into China, I'm like, oh boy, you're falling into all the traps. You are simply proving you're providing confirmation bias for him. I appreciate that. It's okay. You can have opposing opinions. That's all right. We can do that. But it kind of proves to me that in a lot of ways, people like Kevin will survive versus people like Pierre Trudeau will probably become more like academia sort of guys. Yeah. There's a big anti-vax movement in the UK and US. Most people will get it for work and will not, or not if self-employed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I say, in the US, I think there's a lot of folks, yeah, was high as a kite, not to mention that he sounds like Chomsky, in my opinion. Yeah. SPD is just a typical shit lib. Oh, absolutely. I absolutely agree. There were times, I do say that because, yeah, there were times where you heard Pierre Trudeau and he was just like right into the mic. I'm like, dude, it's like, take it easy on the pot, dude. Come on, you know. But yeah. I've said this before and I'll say it again though. I'm kind of schizo, so I'll try to stick on this course. But the US is made up of people who are great at talking shit, but when it comes to actually doing something or saying they're actually, you know, like I say, it's a whole different thing. Americans are great at that. Not to say other countries aren't, but Americans kind of have the cake on that. Americans can talk their shit about vaccines and say they're not going to take them or say that it's part of the Great Reset and all this, but I do remember. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, both Julie and Twist. Yeah, I remember that one. I did list. Yeah, I did remember. I do remember that one. But the thing is, though, is I just don't think Americans have the cojones to really do anything. So I do have this feeling that, yeah, balkanization should occur, as I've talked about over and over in many videos, but I've gone back and forth about will it actually happen? You know, and like I say, I've sobered up, and then like I say, I've fallen off the wagon, and then I've sobered up plenty of times on this point, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess the minute I finally just give up, the minute that's the minute it's gonna happen, right? You know, it's always that way. It's the same thing when you're trying to fix something and you're just like, I don't know what the fuck to do, and then you just like, oh shit, and then you figure it out. But I don't know. I think that, like I say, there's plenty of folks who can go ahead and oppose the vaccine all they want to and can go to these school boards and talk their shit, but I think in general, I think it's just talk. It's just talk. And they aren't willing to take the step further and go off the grid or something like that. I really don't think they are. They don't have it in them to do that. They're too dependent on the system. And that's me included. That's me included. I want to make it clear. But that's how I feel about it, you know. Back to my schizo stuff, though. I think that people like superpower broadcasting will always be status quo, relatively speaking. That, you know, like I say, they're what the politicians really do believe in their heart of hearts. You know, talking about, you know, that we should just go in and bomb these places and whatnot. You know, that's what politicians and generals, I think, actually believe. That it's just that, you know, he always says, "Oh, the experts, you know, say this," but I think the thing is that people like Pierre Trudeau are going to be the ones who just become this esoteric sort of person who's just desperately trying to grab at straws at people that aren't part of the normal group, like, you know, outside of Marx or something like that. So they have to pick out people like George Sorel and say George Sorel didn't influence fascists. He didn't do that, right? And then, of course, you know, if you read one of his books and he immediately starts talking about the JQ within a couple of pages, and you're just like, But yeah, I know I said that, yeah. Doesn't realize he creates his own enemies. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But like I say, I'm pretty much done talking about superpower broadcasting. I don't watch his stuff. I don't feel like staying up until 2 a.m. watching his BS streams and whatnot. Just them just fully out admitting that they hate Islam and, you know, they hate religion in general, but they're like, we just want to change the people, this and that. That Sorel vid was pure cope. Oh yeah, I didn't watch it. I'll be honest with you. I knew it was going to be cope. If the military companies sell weapons to Americans, they kill each other and buy their ammo. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. What's the subject? The subject is basically we're kind of going between two different streams of thought here. Basically, we're talking a little bit about the debate that Superpower Broadcasting had and Pierre Trudank, and we're also talking about kind of just the material conditions of the United States. That's basically the two fundings, but yeah. Definitely help make the foundations of NAP for national syndicalism. Oh yeah, absolutely. See, the problem that you get in politics is that you create these heroes. You know, it's much the same way as people try to do with comic books or something else, right? And they'll make these heroes. It's like Superman versus Batman or something else, right? And, you know, like I say, if you start out as a Marxist and you're like, everything Marx said was great. Oh, shit, he said some nasty things. I'm going to shift to this person now. I'm going to shift to that person. I'm still a De Leonis. You know, like I say, that's what people like Pierre Trudank would say. I'm still a De Leonis, but I'm going to talk about Sorel now and all this sort of thing. You know, but you know, he wasn't a fascist. No, I've got these obscure letters where he doesn't do, like I say. This is why it gets tiring with political commentators, especially on YouTube, because they have to shift around and they move the goalpost about who they really believe was, you know, legit and who wasn't, right? They have to find their heroes and their villains. And these are shifting sands that occur, in my opinion. They shift sands between these different folks. Some folks will just be stubborn. They'll just say, yeah, Stalin did nothing wrong. Ooh, you know, and they'll just stick with that regardless. But then, you know, like I said, then they'll be like, well, you know, Brezhnev bad and all this. Like I said, it gets tiring. It does. It gets tiring. It becomes more of a popularity contest. And it's just, it's like celebrity news for nerds about, oh, well, this person did that. This person did this. It's just, I don't know. I can see... Shakira te pas un Nazbol. Ah. Chakra Tezba. Could be, yeah. Yeah, people put ideology over facts. Oh, absolutely, yeah. The elite stand between the left and the right. Yeah. I think that, I don't know, I'm getting to a point, like I say, I've said before and I'll say it again. I would rather join the lumpen proletariat and folks that are just concerned with just trying to survive, you know? Like I say, I have more in common with that and just folks trying to get by. And I'll admit, it's like if you met me IRL, I would probably be a little bit stuck up. But I think at the end of the day, I would probably stand more with like your intéressant. Ah, we got some en français going on. Okay. Yeah. Je parlais petit français. A little bit. I speak a little bit of French. A little bit, but yeah. Anyway, move on from that. I'm not going to embarrass myself and try to speak French. I took French instead of Spanish, which living in Texas is pretty dumb. Nobody really speaks French in Texas, but obviously Spanish. Anyway, but what I was saying is that, you know, I identify more with like the lumpen proletariat and more like a let's just figure out There we go. Sorry about that. It's okay. You can go ahead and speak French all you want to. Go ahead and speak French. That doesn't bother me. Go ahead and en français all day. That's all right. And you know what? I will say this to the shock rioters. I did see the Rabbi movie. It was very funny. I did like that. That was, yeah, getting by is what most working class people have in common at this point. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I say, I'll admit that there are times where I come off maybe as a little bit hoity-toity at times, and I'll use some big brain words. At the end of the day, I'm no different from anybody else. I try to have that mentality, where it's like, oh, is it compatriot? Oh, okay, that's all right. That's all good. That doesn't bother me at all. Y'all go ahead and talk en français all day. That's all right. That doesn't bother me, yeah. There will always be a new elite group ruling the land. ANC in South Africa became the new elite group ruling the land. ANC in South Africa became the elitists that they fought against. Absolutely. It is what it is. I have this belief that the game doesn't change. It's just the players, right? Ultimately, no matter what ism exists out there, whether it's communism, socialism, this and that, it's like, yeah, I'll broadly call myself an Oswald or call myself a socialist. At the end of the day, I know that ultimately you're not going to get rid of the whole thing. The Soviet Union did not get rid of everything. As much as folks tried to make it seem like they did, they couldn't do that. They had to work with the rest of the world. This is why anarchists and libertarians are never going to make sense, right? They're just like, you still have to make sense of the world somehow, and you have to be able to work within that system. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, reform, but it's like when you do have an event, wink, wink, when you do have an event, you have to be able to make friends, and you have to be able to work with other countries and say, hey, maybe we'll loosen some things up and we'll make some things better. But yeah, that's my take. Theory can tell you how to change things, but practice shows you that you traded one group of elites for another. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, pragmatism is better than all. Exactly. Like I say, maybe I've always felt this way, and I covered it up with a whole lot of bullshit. But I think this is how I've always felt. Like I say, man, it's a complicated world, and it's what I was trying to say about revolution, right? And having a sponsor, where it's like you have to realize that you're going to have to work with somebody. You can't just be a LARPer and just be like, yeah, we're going to have revolution tomorrow. No, it's like you got to make allies. And so if you do take a certain area, be like, hey, China, hey, Russia, come help me out. It's like, all right, well, if you want these lands, that's cool. All right. But you have to play that art of the deal, right? As Donald Trump said. But that's my take, yeah. Accepting the world as it is, even hard left, hard right groups, yeah. Yeah. That's hard. And that's hard to admit, like I say. I do have images of trying to accept. We're not quite at the point yet where we're ready to give up on using oil, right? And using gasoline. The United States isn't ready for that. Like I say, the power grid sure as hell isn't ready. There are numerous things that need to be done that the United States isn't doing for various reasons, mostly coming down to they focus on the social ideas, yeah. What is my position? That is a good thing. That is a good question. My position at the end of the day is get in where you fit in. That's what I would say. Meaning, if you live, like I say, if you can try to promote some sort of socialistic ideas, or at least, I feel like a hypocrite, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you can get some sort of social democratic reform in your area, then do it. And if you can go further, then do it. But if you can't, then try to make it work. That's yeah. I appreciate that, Pierre. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was, like I say, that was a while back when I read those. But I thought that was a pretty good book. overall, kind of reading about that. That came from an older book that was released before the Night of the Long Knives. But yeah. But that's how I feel. It's all so tiring at the end of the day. It's all so tiring when you try to figure out what sort of politics you agree with, this and that. It's like most people, yeah, that every cradle has a grave and there's nothing wrong with doing as little as possible or even nothing. Yeah. Well, that's fair. Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty much at that point. Do what little good you can. I think I've said that before, but you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to say, if you can plant a tree, or if you can take the bus sometimes, then maybe you've made an improvement. Maybe I'm falling into the trap that I've critiqued people like Bo the Fifth Column and Vosh for so long that now I've become them. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, I don't think I have. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we're falling into the trap of like, but I don't. It's not escapism. We're not like Varg where we're gonna try to drain the system dry by living off Social Security. I mean, I don't expect that. I don't know. I feel like seeing all this stuff that it's like, Portland riot number 342, or probably in the thousands. We're probably up to like, Portland riot number 1,342. Those occasional Vosh clips are funny though. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to spread him out a little bit more, because I don't really watch him that much because he's boring and overall he kind of repeats the same points. I just try to wait for him to say something slightly different, such as the one with the Afghan stuff. I'm like, oh, so they're low IQ, but we need to accept them. I'm like, okay, you're going, that was funny to me, but I don't know, man. Honestly, when you get older, like me, you get stuck in your ways. You don't really like to do a lot of stuff. It's like for me, I'm older. It's hot down here. I'm just like, man, dude, I don't want to, like I said, I don't drink. I don't like to smoke. I'll occasionally play pool like during the day or something, but it's like, give him a couple months, it would come, yeah, SJW, John Bolton. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, to me, we see mask off. I'll just go full on. Follow. Yeah, the sky is falling from both sides. Then look out the window and it's same shit, different day. Absolutely. Yeah. You get to a point where you're just fatigued, and I remember when 2012 came out. It's like the world's gonna end, and the movie came out. The History Channel had their documentary, and it's just like climate change, and now you're just like, where are we going? I think that's the biggest problem in the U.S. is that you're stuck in various things. It's like, yeah, you can make more money, and you can try to improve your lot in general, but it's like it's still the same thing. It's like everyone. There's no massive riots. There's no sense of trying to, like I say, with the thing is that the U.S. is so stuck in its own little thing that there's no real way to break out of it at this point. It seems like it anyway. We have, yeah, the day when breadtubers began arguing for wars to liberate women and LGBTQIA folks, only a matter of time. Oh, absolutely. Well, they already do that. Yeah, they already do that. We've seen it with Vosh, who's just like, yeah, idiot of the week debates are good bread and circus, yeah, but it achieves nothing. Prepping is good though. Yeah, I agree. I'm almost to that point, and it's probably way beyond, but yeah, what could trigger a revolution? I would say a recession, or I would say a full-on depression. where money is completely useless. That would be the only thing. Because I feel like there aren't that many. And what's really holding this country together? I think it's money, or the power goes out. Yep, that too. That too. You are correct. We saw it in Texas. We saw a lot of folks who went mask off about individual people down, especially down in Colorado City. That is how it's properly pronounced. That guy who was just like, yeah, well, only the strong survive, this and that sort of thing. Food shortages as well. That's true. That is true. But I feel like, people will, stock crash, debt, etc. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. I think Americans want to turn the USA page. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Americans are beyond the old idea of the United States. Yeah, to have their own power grid. Yeah, just like I say, there was mismanagement. Yeah, I'll stay with that. But I think Americans are tired of being Americans to a certain point. I think that they are beyond that. They don't really value themselves because it's such an empty water source. Yep, that's true. They don't really value being an American. We can't, you can't keep, and people have said this before, and I'll say it here, but you can't just keep going off the fumes of World War II, and just think, yeah, let's make a new country. Exactly. Yeah. And people are questioning what this country means. That's really what this comes down to. What does the United States mean? What does it represent? And I think that the federal government in general has chosen immigration and providing freedom to people and give me your poor, your huddled masses. It has become that. Now, of course, that maybe vaguely means that we can help people who we think need to and whatnot, but you'll have people like Bo the Fifth Column who basically want reform, right? They want reform. They want this whole idea where it's just like, well, if we, bring us your refugees and we'll give you our racist, that sort of thing. It's just like with their states rather than with America. Oh, absolutely. That is true as well. Like I say, there are people who give the LARP about Texas, right? Where it's just like, Texas can be its own state, and every decade or so, there's that petition that goes out. We need to make Texas its own country again. So it's like, yeah, it'll be strong, but a giant European ethno state. Oh boy, that'd be the day, huh? But I mean, I've talked about this subject over and over. Yeah, Connecticut nationalism. It'd be something. Yeah, or New England nationalism. I could stretch it out there. Or even Southern nationalism. It's like, I could see Texas and Oklahoma creating kind of its own thing. Bayou State, yeah. Because obviously Texas and Oklahoma, there's a lot of connections there. Oklahoma, I can't think of where in Oklahoma, but it has a lot of where a lot of oil companies are incorporated there. And of course, like I said, the state of Oklahoma, it's still very much kind of like libertarian in some ways, where it's just like, yeah, corporation is good, this and that. I mean, if Hello 1999 was her, I can't think of his. I think it's 1999 though. Hello 1999, when he could tell me more about Oklahoma. And I do hope, if you do hear this, Hello 99. I'm sorry, that's it. Yeah, Hello 99. If he does see this, I hope you're doing okay. I do seriously hope you do, because I know he had some trouble finding a job, this and that. He had trouble with his dad. I'm not going to get too personal from what I know. I'm just saying what I do hope you're doing okay. I do hope so, because I know Oklahoma has it rough. It does. I mean, I've been through particularly a lot in Oklahoma. Very, very sad. Very sad. But anywho, Connecticut and Rhode Island should be one country. Nobody wants them low. Yeah, exactly. Death will always be a great motivation for change. Yeah, that's true too. I just, I feel like, why not at this point? Dare I just put it like that? But it's just like, why not? Why not just let this country break apart? Why do we have to have this whole country as one thing? You know, if we disagree as much as we do between politics or religion or about vaccines, about medicine and whichever, then just allow the country to break apart peacefully. But I know that's not going to happen. That's a fantasy. I know that. I do. But it's like, what are we holding on to? Michigan Upper Peninsula is a good place. Can't say I've been there, but I'm sure it's nice. What are we holding on to? What are we really trying to save that hasn't already been destroyed? You know, we've made people like Abraham Lincoln bad. We have made Teddy Roosevelt bad. You can say George Washington and all the other founding fathers bad. So what are you holding on to? People living outside the U.S. with zero connection to the U.S. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, an idea at most. Exactly. The U.S. is an idea. Yeah, and it's an idea that has changed, and it's become something about immigration and just making your due. Which does that? What does that mean for average people? Average Americans. And I think in general, that isn't talked about as much. It's like, yeah, we're going to provide healthcare and all this, but we're going to help refugees as well and whatnot. It's just like there's this fetishization of other cultures in the U.S. as well. Buddhism is one of those. There's a lot of folks in the U.S. that fetishize Buddhism as if it's one thing. It's just like, come on. And I've done it too. I have done. I've fallen into that trap. Yeah. I live in the great state of Texas. Yep. Holding on to a dream that's turned into a nightmare. Trans rights and eternal immigration. Exactly. Yeah. Too many people can. Yep. That is true as well. But I just feel like, what are we to do about this? There is no, my country Pakistan was an idea as well, and they are separatists, and there are separatists in every province. Oh wow. I imagine so with Pakistan, yeah. Oh, I'm getting sleepy, so I will try to wrap this up pretty soon, but there used to be grand visions. And this is one thing that people need to realize, I think, just about human beings in general, is that you have to be able to sell an idea, and you have to sell an image, a potential future, a more brighter future. And to me, the United States as a whole is not able to sell that anymore. It's not able to. It just isn't. They sell the idea that it's just, if you get your degree in this, then you can go ahead and have a secured job. Well, it's like that's not guaranteed anymore. In general, the state of the U.S., in terms of living standards, I think has not only stalled, but also is going backwards. We're going to a time when we don't care about those things. We're going to a time where, you're not going to have paved roads, this and that, right? Lack of automation made it easier, for the past generation to get jobs. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Automation is definitely one of those things. It would be better if people understood AI technology and understood those things, but they don't want to teach people that, or they just think they're too dumb. So yeah. And someone make me a logo, by the way. Widgets were higher back then. That's true. Let's see here. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Dollar wasn't that high also. Yeah, that's true too. Let me see here. Let me see here. I did see your Twitter though, Pierre. Let me see if I can send you something right quick. You could just get a picture off Google and you could just put it up like that. That's what I did basically. I found this on Google of a picture of Thomas Magnum like this, and I was like, oh, that's a nice one. So that's what I got. But yeah, that's what I did. I just got something lazy. But yeah, regionalism, common cultures will stick together. Yeah, Cajuns, Dixie, etc. Maybe become a great reservation, like Russell Means once said. Yeah, I think that's what's going to occur. Because I feel like the United States, the federal government, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, good luck with that then, Pierre. I guess, like I said, I'll try to wrap it up here pretty soon. I know I say that and then I go for another 20 minutes, but, you know, I think people have already tried to, Maine is based. Yeah, I've never been there, but I would say, yeah, Maine would be an idea. Lobster nationalism, right? But I think regionalism. See ya. Good luck to you, Mir Puri, Republican Army. Good luck to you, MRA. um, have a good one. Have a good night or have a good day, whichever time it is. But yeah, Upper Maine, speak French, dude. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah, but yeah, regionalism, I think, should become a better thing, and I think that when people kind of understand that sort of thing, not based on race. I'm just going to say that, yeah, Quebecois. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was going to say is that I'm not going to go racial, where it's just like white people. I think even Wignats, I think, have already abandoned the idea of white people in general because they'll say that white people are wusses and all this sort of thing. So they just want their small little group and they don't care about the rest, you know. There's a shooting in Westfield Culver Mall. Oh, wow. Welcome to Joe Biden America, Westfield Culver Mall. Well, okay, let me see if I can cover this right quick here. Sorry. Culver. Yeah. Oh, wow. Culver City. Oh, yeah, person shot in leg. Suspect on the run. Holy moly. LA Times. Oh no, I'll go Fox 11 LA. Good old Los Angeles. Culver City. That's a big place where Hollywood types are, I think. I should probably, let me go ahead and close the door. Hold on. Okay. Person shot in leg at Westfield, Culver City. Suspect on the run. Police are investigating after a person was shot in the leg. Suspect remains on the run as of Thursday night. Huh. Southern California news. Let's go ahead and see here.
It is U.S. military personnel that do the passengers.
Sorry, I'm probably double audio there. Sorry about that. This is okay, that's that general who was doing the press conference earlier today. Huh, okay. What a crazy day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Decentralize until we have a central. Yeah. That's the only way, I think. You have to allow, like I said, the only reason is that we just have to allow these other places to kind of break apart for a bit and then realize, oh shit, this isn't what we want, and then maybe make a better form of whatever you want to call the United States. Don't even call it the United States anymore. Call it something else. Call it Burger, call it Bulgaria for all I care, call it Burgerland. That's what we are. It's still, like I say, it's still Burgerland, right? It's okay. I'm not embarrassed by that meme. It's true. I like a good burger. I try not to do pork anymore, but yeah, Burger Stand. There you go. Yeah, Burger Stand. That'd be funny if we did actually name it Burger Stand. Just prove the meme. Just go full on meme, But I will like I say, I think I'll finish up with this. So just whatever does happen with the United States, I just hope it's as painless as possible. But I have a feeling it won't, because this country just has a lot of bad elements. I'll put it that way, yeah. I guess we'll see America deal with terrorists over the horizon surveillance state. Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Burglandia. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true, though, too. That is true, too. The surveillance state about, not being accepting of all the immigrants, this and that, It's a very difficult thing, yeah. Hamburger becomes the national mascot. There you go. Hold on. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I don't think McDonald's cares, because they don't use this anymore. So let me see here. Go ahead and close that. Sorry about that. I meant to let me take off that. I mean, what else does over the horizon mean? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's coming though. Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, what else? Oh, what the hell? Oh, okay. Feds make satanic terrorists of deranged people sad. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they do. Let me go ahead and change the brand right quick here. I'll just do that. I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll go ahead and add it at the bottom here. Oops. There we go. There we go. This is our new mascot. There we go. Yep. This is our new mascot right there. Yeah, like I say, there's, the United States. That's a joke. That's the whole joke now. But how long can the surveillance state keep going? How long can we hide the truth of things? Of the way people are living, this and that. How long? Strasser's Hamburglar. Yeah, exactly. Canada can be grimace, yeah. Yeah, how long can we really stay like this and continue to just keep bringing people to jail, this and that, I think that we've come to a point where we can only, yeah. Why didn't the Afghan army fight for our values? Whoops. I mean, their country. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's true, though. Yeah. There are people who believe that. It's just such a sad thing with Afghanistan, but it's not surprising, People have talked endlessly about this. I think there's about 1,100 Americans, I think, still in country, and eventually we'll get them out. But yeah, Oh man, okay. I'm getting sleepy. Dissolve Afghanistan. Yeah. Cancel Afghanistan. Yeah. Probably we're almost there. Yeah. I think that's about all I have to say, though. I really do. A lot of just, you know, I didn't care for that debate. I was trying to listen to it somewhat because I didn't have anything to do. I didn't feel like watching another episode of the Cinema Snob, which is what I've been. Yeah, yeah, that's true though. Yeah, I didn't really care for the debate. I feel like people are kind of stuck in, their own ideas of things, and I think that young people are just kind of, they're just watching TikTok videos, right? I know the guy that I work with who's a little bit younger than me, technically my boss, and he's just watching TikTok videos all day, It's just like, outside of doing his job. I'm like, that's where we are now. As the people would, they realize that it's like this country sucks, but it's like this is all they know, type of thing. They know they can't go anywhere else. Debates are boring. Yeah, they are. But they, like I said, there's a lot of feeling out there. But I think that there's just this is all we've got sort of thing, that Americans have. But I think that's all we have. It's just that this is all we have. This is the only country we know. This is kind of the attitude that I've portrayed in these videos. It's just like this is all we know. This is all you know. It's not that we see, it's not necessarily like some old white supremacist imperialist sort of thing. It's like this is all we know though. It's burgers and fries and going to your 8-hour job, kind of, maybe slacking off here and there, but in general, just kind of, doing that. Same thing with the movies and everything else. It's just kind of my opinions on the JQ. Well, what I'm going to say is I think it's overblown. And I think that if you simplify everything to just JQ, then you leave out a lot of details. And it's something that, a lot of people kind of leave out. But yeah, imagine if Zoomers created the whole Kumbaya society. Lol. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. People protecting Biden right now. And I'm still thinking that the problem, still thinking the problem isn't systemic and endemic. Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are people that still do that. Yeah. Bo the Fifth Column has done it as well. He continues to defend Biden and will not go at Biden the same way that he did Trump. Yeah. Yeah, I feel similar. Like I say, I don't talk about the JQ a lot because I feel like is our future new dark ages. Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah. I think that, I don't know. There's so much that can be said, but I think I'm going to end it like I've always ended these streams where it's just like, you got to do what you got to do for yourself. We're just, yeah, we just need a good president away from turning, yeah. We just, yeah, good president steering, yeah, turning the ship around. No, he isn't. Like, yeah. How many JQ debates have there been? I mean, if we're talking like Discord, there've been quite a few probably, but like on YouTube, I don't know. But yeah, the JQ debates get boring. And I think you can go ahead and bring up certain points, but it's just like, or you can talk about like the Hatzalah, this and that, but it's like, I don't know. But I would just say, I'll end it here, where people are going to do what they have to in this crazy world. It's going to be different wherever you are. There are, like I say, broadly speaking, the U.S. has been standardized in many ways, whether it's McDonald's or Denny's or these chain restaurants or how, where you work at. It's just like it's like if you work in one factory, you kind of work in a mall, right? But yeah. But I would just say is just try to do what you got to do. Try to improve your lot in life the best that you can. And if you can prepare and you can grow your own veggies, or even go hydroponic or aquaponic, which I think aquaponic is the one where you have like fish that fertilize the soil so that they can cause the plants to grow. If you can do that, crazy that peasants win 2 times against the USA. Yeah, exactly. The rest is up for debate. Yeah, exactly. I would just say, if you are able to prep and you're able to kind of take care of yourself and be able to get off the grid as much as possible, then try it. Then do it. If you can't, then I would just say just try to minimize the damage, get to know your neighbors, and just say, hey, man, if things get bad, let's have a truce, all right? And you're going to defend my house, and I'll help you defend yours, and go from there. And that's all you can do. There you go. Yeah. That works. Yeah. If you like beats, then go for it. Yeah. I think that's all I can really say. It's a very, Afghan, Vietnam, opium wars. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's all I have to say on that. I know I've repeated that point before, but I think it's worth repeating. I think that's all I got. Use the system against itself. Yeah. Like I say, maybe I'm a hypocrite, and I am, but that's how I feel. Anyway, let's go ahead and close this out with another video. Let's see what I have on here. I'll go ahead and use this one. Why not? I use this outro. It's been a while. So I'll go ahead and play this, and see you later. Goodbye. And I'll go ahead and say, let me go ahead and I'll finish up properly. And say, wherever you are in the world, whether it's daytime, nighttime, I hope that you personally are just getting by the best that you can. And yeah, just keep on keeping on, bang on that beast, right? That's what some of those folks have said, right? Bang on that beast. That's all you can do. Try to bang on that beast and keep it moving. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. So see you later. Goodbye.